Well, hey, everybody, and welcome to Cleveland Clinic Courts in Independence. Maybe an hour before the Cavs are going to depart for a lengthy West Coast road trip after their first 7 games of the season. Brendan Gulick, Spencer Davies with you, part of our Cavs Insider coverage. Spin, we heard from Coach J.B. Bickerstaff today. We also had a chance to talk with Max Strus and with Jared Allen, who finally got a chance to visit with us again because he's been kind of dealing with a rocky start to the season. Your overall takeaway after having a chance to be here and hear what they had to say?
You know, I think it was great to just hear from Jared Allen. We really haven't spoken to him, honestly, since Media Day. So it is November 7th. So that's a long time. It's just good to hear him. He's just talking about how, injuries can happen and give you a setback. And, setbacks never good for a team that's trying to acclimate new pieces to it at the same time. So it's good to have him back, only 2 starts under his belt. Still has a minutes restriction. Same thing with Darius Garland. But I think as we saw on Sunday, that Warriors game, man, I don't think you can see any more complete than it was. And the way that they closed it out, it was just great. But Jarrett pretty much was just talking and sharing what he thought about the team and how the spacing's changed and how, defensively he come in there. And I think the biggest part of what he said was he's going to play whatever role that team wants him to play, whether it's blocking a shot, whether it's getting an offensive rebound, whether it's switching onto a guard and getting a bid stop. So
I think he even said even if they want him to bring the ball up the floor.
Yeah, he did. I don't know how much JB is going to want to do that. But, no, it's good to have him back, and I think it's going to really help out Evan Mobley, who's been really having to play the 5 position, a little out of position against some of these bigger guys, and now he's allowed to roam and play, as one of the reporters said, a free safety, if you will, and play in that help defense role.
I think the thing that I most took away from Jarrett was the somewhat lighthearted question about his left hand, right? We've seen more lefty from him than you pretty much ever see from a guy who's right-handed predominantly, and he was like, I use my left hand. I don't know what else to say. Like, that's not that abnormal for me. And I'm thinking about it like I wouldn't shoot a free throw left-handed.
No, that was my question too, by the way. And that's what's funny because he goes out there and shoots a free throw left-handed in Indiana, his first one, right? And then the next time he's at the free throw line, he acts like it didn't happen. But he's gotten a couple of, nice floater looks with his left hand. I think he's gotten 1 to go out of like 3 tries. But, whatever you can do to add a wrinkle to your game, I suppose. But I think the Cavs will use his bone-crushing screens a little bit better. I think they'll use his lob threat a little bit better than that left hand predominantly, I would say.
So obviously first big trip of the year, right? You're going to play 4 games on the road. The first 2 games against teams that maybe you don't have to do a super deep scout on because you already know them fairly well, having played them already. Stopping in Oklahoma City first, heading to Golden State, then to Sacramento, and wrapping up in Portland before the team comes back home. It's probably a challenging road trip. I kind of look at that and think, okay, this is going to be a good little test here.
No doubt. And this is a time last year where they went 1-4 on this road trip, and it's the early season West Coast swing, and it's really an opportunity to bond for these guys. It's also an opportunity to kind of get used to each other. I know that sounds like a broken record because we've been talking about it since the beginning of October, but guys, they've played 2 games together, and they're still not even fully healthy. Isaac Okoro missed Sunday's game with some knee soreness. Ty Jerome's still dealing with a sprained right ankle. Ricky Rubio's still away from the team. So they're still not whole, but they're as close to whole as they've been. We did hear that Ty Jerome didn't practice today, neither did Sam Merrill. So we'll see what happens on that front. But their starting 5 that they've anticipated and wanted to see for so long, they've finally gotten the opportunity to play with each other. And they're still not knocking down shots. I think they went like 30% or something like that from 3 the other night. But Max Strus is making such a big difference moving around in that half court, right? Darius Garland, we saw what he could do when he puts it on the floor and opens things up for Donovan Mitchell on the outside, opens things up for a cutting Evan Mobley, playing in pick and roll, whatever it may be. And guys, Max Strus and Georges Niang are going to hit those threes eventually. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen in a really loud way. I think they're going to have a game where they hit 10 combined or something like that because they've started the season out, I think, about, below 30% from beyond the arc, and that's just not gonna happen with these guys who know how to shoot the ball. So, and even with that, they played terrific defense against the Warriors.
Sure.
They closed the game out, and I think that, again, the complete game is what they were talking about. 4 strong quarters, and they put together 2 very strong quarters when they put themselves behind the 8 ball in Indiana. So they just want to continue that momentum.
So I think one of the big storylines early in the season, you mentioned Max Strus and the way he's moving around and creating shots, and this offense feels different. I also don't get overly concerned about a lack of threes going in quite yet, but I think it is worth noting we're 7 games in, and I don't know if this pace can continue. Max is on pace to bludgeon Donovan Mitchell's team record for threes attempted in a season last year. And I guess there's probably an element of like when he was brought here, you probably have that in mind that like this guy's going to chuck a lot of shots from deep, but it is still really different to see the alarming rate at which he's shooting threes. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just so different from what we're used to seeing.
Very different because it's a very, we're used to seeing pick and roll heavy. We're used to seeing slow the ball down, right? We're seeing Darius Garland take 7 dribbles or Donovan Mitchell take 10, take it down to the 24-second shot clock and have to throw up a prayer. But in this offense, what they're looking for is constant movement.
Sure.
And they're able to use that with Max's gravity. And when that happens, Evan Mobley's allowed to kind of slip into the pocket. We saw a little bit of the 2-man game with Max Strus and Evan Mobley against Indiana the first time. And that's something to keep an eye on, especially as Donovan Mitchell's continuing to do what he's doing, because teams are going to start throwing doubles and triples at him. Darius Garland, if he's getting downhill the way he is and attacking at different angles, just both with the right hand and the left hand, just so many weapons for this Cavs offense. And then defensively, when you have Jared Allen back in the fold, you have what they call the safety blanket, as JB Bickerstaff said in his post-game press conference on Sunday. So now you have your rim protector, and then Evans playing help defense. You got guys getting deflections. Karis LeVert made the play of the game on Sunday after stripping Steph Curry at half court, leading to the Max Strus flush. So if you put it all together on both ends, complementary basketball, that's a good team. That's a really good team.
I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited, and seeing a win over Golden State for the first time in 7 years in the regular season, as weird as that sounds, nice to see that actually happen. And this team takes some momentum on the road.
No doubt. And it's weird because, Tristan Thompson's around for the first time they've done that. And it's just like he never left, right? He knows those guys a little bit. And
he just asked on Twitter for some like local food recommendations.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
you've been here for like 9 years, Double T. What's going on, my guy? You should know the places. And Donovan Mitchell, he shouted out Zanzibar over there on Prospect. So that's cool that he did that.
Yeah, having some fun.
It's cool. It's cool. We hear some basketballs bouncing around here too. We just wanted to give a quick shout out to the Cleveland Charge. They're starting their season up here, and I want to wish them the best of luck. Obviously, really well put together organization, and you're going to see a ton of Core Jr., Imani Bates, and Isaiah Mobley play just like you did in Summer League, and that should be really fun. So make sure to check them out this weekend. I know the Cavs are on the road, but they open up their season on Saturday downtown.
Can't wait to see those guys play as well. For all the latest news and information on the Cleveland Cavaliers during their road trip, we got you covered, CavsInsider.com, and right here on this YouTube channel. Certainly would appreciate it if you'd subscribe there, and thanks for the support. We'll see you soon as we leave you here for the first time, or I should say for the last time now, for about a week while the team is out on the road.